Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I want to invite you to hit that subscribe button, and also if you would like to hit the notification bell button right next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever I post new videos. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this beautiful Alice in Wonderland inspired cake. All the cute little details on this cake are handmade, and I'm going to show you guys just how to make them. To get started, I've baked two 10-inch and two 8-inch red velvet cakes, and I'm just removing those off the cake pans, and I'm going to begin by leveling off the tops. Once I've leveled my cakes, I place them on the cake boards. I drizzle them with simple syrup to help keep them nice and moist, and then I begin filling the cakes with vanilla buttercream. Then I begin crumb coating the outside of the cake. I refrigerate this and I give it a second coat of buttercream. Now to cover the cakes, I have some fondant which I've dyed a very light blue color using the Wilton color Sky Blue, and I used a very small amount so that it would come out a really nice light blue color. And I'm going to go ahead and knead this fondant and roll it out. Before I cover the cake, I'm going to insert some dowels in the bottom cake layer so that when we add the other cake layer on top, there's some support in the bottom. Now I'm going to roll the fondant over my rolling pin and unroll it over the cake. And we're covering the bottom tier. This is the 10-inch cake. I use my hands and my fondant smoother to smooth the fondant around the cake, and then I use my X-Acto knife to trim the excess fondant around the bottom of the cake. Now to cover the top tier, I have some fondant, and I used Wilton's Buttercup Yellow. And I just use a tiny amount once again just to keep it a very nice soft yellow. And I'm going to repeat the same steps by rolling this out, rolling it onto my rolling pin, and then unrolling it over the cake to cover the cake. And once again, I'm going to use my hands and a fondant smoother to smooth the fondant around the cake, around the sides and top, and then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut off the excess fondant around the bottom of the cake. Now here I have one really thick dowel which I'm going to insert through the center of the bottom cake so that the cake board that we placed on our top cake tier can go through and it supports both cakes together. Now since this is an Alice in Wonderland themed cake, I wanted to keep the structure a little whimsical, so I didn't place the cake right in the center. I placed it off to the back so that it looks kind of like steps. And I'm just spraying random spots with some gold color mist spray to give it that kind of sponge paint effect. Here I have some white gum paste which I am just rolling into really thin tubes, and I'm just going to create a nice whimsical key. So what I'm doing is just cutting out really small tubes, and I'm just creating little swirls, and you can kind of copy what I'm doing. Just create random little swirls and make a nice stick for the bottom and a smaller stick to connect to the bottom of that, and this is going to make a really fun whimsical key. And I'm going to color my key using some silver color mist spray, and I'm going to let this dry. Now to give both of my cakes a pearl border in the bottom, I am using this little pearl border pattern mat that I have. It's a silicone mat. And what I'm doing is just placing my fondant, and then I'm just pressing slightly onto it. And when you remove it, you have this really nice pearl border. So with my paintbrush and a little bit of water, I'm adding the pearl borders around the bottom of both cake tiers. And for those of you that are wondering, the four little hands that you see in the background are actually my two sons. They are helping make the little leaves that we're going to be placing on this cake. Now I'm going to find the center of the cake, and off to the left of the cake, I'm going to place the beautiful key that we made. Using a really light ivory gum paste strip that I cut into two, I am going to create a nice little rope pattern by just twisting and twisting both of the strips together. And this is going to be the little rope that's going to be on the little tag that we're going to make that's going to say eat me, because if you've seen the movie, there's little tags that say eat me and drink me. Here I have this beautiful kind of flamingo pink fondant that I dyed to match this wonderful cake topper. And what I'm going to do is create the small tag. So I'm just going to cut out that little shape like a little tag, and I'm going to poke a hole through the center top part with one of my fondant tools, and then I'm going to insert the rope through it. And then using an edible food marker, I'm going to write eat me on it. And now I'm going to place the little tag in the center of the cake. Now I'm going to use the tiniest little teacup. So using some white gum paste, I am rolling it out and I'm going to cut out a small circle. This is going to be the plate that the teacup lies on. Then I'm going to roll a little ball of fondant and then kind of shape it into a teacup, indent the center, and place it on the little teacup saucer. And using a really small strip of gum paste, I'm going to create the handle and stick it on using a little bit of water. Now I'm going to add a small little ivory ball in the center of the teacup, and then I'm going to paint over it using a little bit more ivory food color and give it a nice wet look so that it looks like tea. Now using some more edible food markers, and these I actually got at Walmart, but again you can find these online. I'm going to draw little leaf patterns throughout the teacup and the saucer, and then using my red marker I'm just going to add little petals to make it look like flowers. And I'm going to place the little teacup under the key right at the top of the bottom cake layer. And I made another tag. This time it's really small, and this one says drink me, and I'm going to place this through the teacup handle. I'm going to show you guys how we made the leaves. So here I have some dark green fondant and I have these leaf plunging cutter thingies, and all you do is just press on them. And I got these at Michael's, I believe, but once again you can find these online or any local cake supply store. And all you do is just press them and it leaves that indented leaf shape with the little veins and everything. And using a little bit of water and a paintbrush, I am going to just wet some little spots where I want to place the leaves and place these onto there. Now I'm going to add the beautiful Alice in Wonderland cake topper, just so that I can know where I'm going to be placing the leaves, because I want to place some leaves right behind the cake topper, as if they're flowing down the back and sides of the cake. Now here I have some white fondant and I've created some little raindrop shapes to be the rosebuds, and what I'm doing is using one of my big piping tips, and I'm using the round bottom part to cut off half circle shapes, and these are going to be the petals. And I just place these by wrapping them around the bud one by one until it starts to spread. And now I'm going to place the roses throughout the cake on top of the leaves. Now I've made some more of the pearl border bead pattern, and what I'm going to do is place these vertically down the bottom tier of the cake, and I'm going to spread these out. And using that same silicone mold where I got this pearl border pattern, there was a flower pattern, and I'm just adding the flowers in the middle of each division in the bottom of the cake. Now for the final detail of this cake, I want to make that Alice in Wonderland whimsical watch. So what I have here is some ivory colored fondant, and I'm just going to roll out a circle. I'm going to use one of the ends of my small rolling pin and indent that to have a bigger circle in the center. And I have some ivory colored tubes which I'm going to roll onto the top of the cake and create a nice little swirl pattern. And once I'm happy with the little whimsical clock shape, I'm going to go ahead and spray this with some gold color mist spray. And here I'm using the bottom of one of my piping tips with some white fondant, and I'm going to create the inside of the clock. So I'm using my edible food marker and I'm going to draw the Roman numerals on the clock. And I placed this in the center of the clock, and I've created this beautiful chain pattern which is going to hang around where I'm going to place the clock. And I'm going to place the clock at the very top of the cake to the right side. And I'm just going to hang the chain around. And this beautiful, slightly whimsical Alice in Wonderland themed cake is complete. Every single little detail from the key to the little teacup, the tags, and the watch are just so beautiful and so delicate. They match perfectly with the delicate white flowers and the delicate colors of the cake. Everything just comes together so beautifully, and that we're all madly in love here cake topper just tops it off wonderfully. Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial on how to make this beautiful Alice in Wonderland inspired cake. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. I just want to thank all my followers and everyone that has left comments and likes my videos and watches them. I truly appreciate it. I would also like to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of July, which is my birthday, and it will also be my 2-year anniversary here on YouTube making cake tutorials for you guys. So please share my videos and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. It means the world to me. Bye.